Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I am in the unceded traditional territories of the Gooskimook First Nation in North Vancouver Island. Really happy to have you. You might be able to see the beautiful ocean just sparkling behind me here. It's such a pretty and glittery day here on the island. I'm feeling incredibly lucky. Early spring is starting. You can hear a couple bumblebees around. Really great. We're gonna do some side abs today. So as always, please feel free to throw on your favorite playlist, some good motivational music to listen to. I'm out in nature, I like to go without it. And as always, if you're enjoying the videos, please consider liking, subscribing, and maybe sharing, and maybe even drop me like a little loving thumbs up or a comment here and there, let me know how you're liking it, give me some feedback, let me know what you want. Happy to give it to you. So let's get started. We're going to do some side abs, as I mentioned. So we're going to actually start sitting just on our sides. So imagine you're like little beach babe mermaid sitting on your hips. We're going to be just behind the hip socket. So like in that bum dimple, you might notice me just looking around and always doing a little environmental scan because I am up in the wild west coast here. I'm going to put my arm out at 45 degrees. Now I'm going to rotate the shoulder. So the whole shoulder forward, back and down. Forward, back and down. Forward, back and down. Forward, back and down. Now, every time I'm bringing my shoulder back and down, you want to think you're engaging all through the lats, down the side of the ribs, all the way down to here. These muscles are engaging as I push away from the ground. As I roll forward, I'm kind of letting that sort of twist in the front here and kind of like not really fully relax the back. Pull everything down, pull that shoulder blade down towards the hips. Good. Last one. Good. From here, I'm going to come down to my elbow and up, elbow and up. All the while, try to engage the lower oblique here. So imagine you're trying to push this side of the rib cage away from the ground. Good. Last one. Perfect. Other side. Beach babe, mermaid status. Roll that shoulder forward, back and down. Engage all through the lats, down the side of the body. Good. Keep those bottom ribs tucked in. Keep drawing that belly button into the spine. Doing a little environmental scan for predators, but I think we're good. Good. Engage through that pelvic floor. Last one. Good. And down to the elbow and up. So think it's like almost like a side plank. We're squeezing through the side here, lifting the bottom side of the rib cage as far from the ground as possible, staying nice and lifted through the shoulder, keeping the shoulder kind of in that back rotated position. Good. Pulling that whole shoulder blade down the side. Last one here. Beauty. From here, let's come on up for a sec. Tabletop position. Draw the belly button up to the spine, round through the back, tuck the chin. Exhale, drop that belly button. Drop the chest, lift the tailbone, lift the head. Inhale up. Squeeze, draw the belly button, all of the abdominal wall up and in. Squeeze that pelvic floor closed. Exhale, come down. Inhale, come up. Good. From here, we're going to do some circles all through that midsection. So think the rib cage is painting a circle all the way around. Keep squeezing that pelvic floor closed. Switch directions. Good. And release. From here, let's have a seat again in that bum dimple. I can see my dog has got a hold of my coffee cup and it is being shredded in my car. Perfect. Thank you, Wilma. I love you too. Ay, dogs, hey? Gotta love them. So we're gonna have our knees. Actually, you know what we can do is we can place one block between the knees, one between the ankles. Again, mermaid position. So kind of 45 degrees here. I'm never slouching through the shoulder. I'm pressed up and away. I'm going to rotate my hand. So I'm going to be on the outside edge of that pinky just so I can't put too much weight in that hand. From here, top arm, we're going to put the hand behind the head, drive that elbow straight to the sky, and think with the bottom side, we're pushing away from the floor. Good. See if you can lift and straighten. My block is a little too tight for me. There we go. So you might need to rotate your block just depending on the anatomy of your legs. We're all built a little bit different. But having the block here is just going to keep everything in nice alignment. Good, holding it here. Push away from the ground. Squeeze that pelvic floor. Bring the legs up to the chest, up to the chest, up to the chest. That coffee cup was not meant to last, I guess. 5, 6, 7, and 8. From here, come on down to the elbow, hold your position. Try to bring that belly button a little bit more towards the wall in front of you now. And now think you want to make like a crescent shape, trying to pull your legs kind of up, making like a C shape with your body, with your shoulder. Don't be sagged down. Push up and away from the ground. Drive this top elbow to the sky. Keep that pelvic floor nice and strong. Good. And release. Other side. So just as before, hand a little bit in front here. Shoulder rolled down and back towards the ground. Draw that belly button in. Squeeze that pelvic floor. Drive this top elbow to the sky. Push the bottom side of the ribs away from the ground. I'm resting on the outside edge of my hand. Pelvic floor is nice and strong. Good. Bring the legs to the chest. To the chest. Little lift. Good. 2 and 1. Come down to the elbow. Roll a little bit more forward. Push away from the ground. Try to engage through that top oblique to bring your legs a little higher. Don't sag into that shoulder. Good work. And 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Coming back to the other side now. I'm laughing because my dog's got the biggest underbite, and all I can see is her like just staring at me through the window like, Mama, what you doing? Yeah, you're a naughty little thing. You might catch one of the other previous videos in which they're wrestling on my mat, getting sand all over my face. Never a dull moment with them. So hand to the ground here. My hand's going to be a little bit in front of me, so think you're like pointing to that top corner of your mat. Again, with your shoulder, we're not here. We're lifted off the ground. Pull everything down, engage, press away. So think maximize the space between this bottom section of the ribs, or this side of the ribs, and the floor. From here, top elbow to the sky. I'm going to tuck my knees up. Good. Float my feet. Excellent. From here, I'm going to straighten out my front leg. Holding it here, push away from the ground. Try to take this back knee, draw it all the way to the chest if you can. Holding it here, pull that pelvic floor up and in. Push away from the floor. Good. And breathe. Good. Straighten. Oh yeah. Push away from the ground. Try to pull those legs up for 3, 2, and 1. Hi, caramba. She's gonna feel this tomorrow. Oh, hello, sunshine. How lovely. Other side. Hand goes to that top corner. Again, I'm like in that butt dimple. So just behind the hip socket, just sitting on that squishy part of my bum. Pushing my shoulder down and away. Drive this top elbow to the sky. Tuck the knees to the chest. Straighten out that front leg. Draw that pelvic floor up and in. Take this back knee, draw it up to the elbow or the chest or the armpit. Good job holding it here. And breathe. Push away from the ground. Squeeze that pelvic floor closed. So imagine you really have to use the washroom. You want to pull everything up and in. Good. Straighten. Oh yeah. Oh, my obliques are tired from my class I taught yesterday. My legs are shaking. For 3, 2, and 1. Oh yeah. Oh, how good. So good. So good. Okay. Other side now. Coming back. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna be on our forearm, and we're gonna do some side planks. So pretty simple. We're gonna place our elbow beneath our shoulder. You're gonna take your forearm, you're gonna rotate it out to, hello, mosquito, out 45 degrees. So your fingers are pointing to that top corner of the mat. Now, to make this easier for yourself, you're going to be up on your knees. So you can have your knees pretty much in line with the chest. And then all you're gonna do is think you're pushing away from the ground, push your hips forward, and just avoid letting this back hip tilt backwards. It's gonna force your bottom shoulder forward. So think, stack your shoulders, stack your hips, don't fold back, push your hips forward, and hold. Good. So let's actually just do one here on our knees, just to do a nice warm up. Just doing a doggy check, environmental scan. We are good. If this feels okay, straighten and float that leg. Don't sag into the shoulder, push away from the ground. Draw that belly button in, tuck the ribs, curl your pelvis just a wee bit forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Other side. Elbow under shoulder, rotate hand, knees in line with chest. Lift the hips to the sky, push the pelvis a little bit forward. So stack the shoulders, push away from the ground through the bottom side of this armpit and the bottom side of the ribs. Keep your hips stacked, so don't let this back hip sag backwards. Good. If this feels okay, straighten and float that top leg. Good stuff. Keep your pelvis slightly curled forward, belly button tucked to the spine, pelvic floor engaged. There is a deer fly on my bag, and I'm so grateful he's there instead of here. Thank you for not eating me. Those guys hurt when they bite, not fun. And 3, 2, and 1. Perfect. Back to other side now. If that felt okay for you, straighten out your legs, rotate out, elbow under shoulder, coming up. Stack the hips one above each other, so don't lean back here. Stack the hips, push away through that bottom shoulder, stack the shoulders. We can reach straight to the sky here. Good work. And think you're almost trying to pull this side up off the ground. Belly button remains drawn to the spine. Bottom ribs are tucked in. Pelvic floor is nice and strong. Good. If this feels okay for you, we can lift for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back nice and slow. Beautiful work. Other side, elbow under shoulder, rotate out. If this feels okay, legs are straight. If not, bent knees again is totally fine. Coming up, we stack the hips, we stack the shoulders. Reaching straight to the sky with this arm can help us stop from doing this weird backwards rotation. Reaching straight up. If that feels good, you can lift that top leg. Try to drive this top hip up, drive the floor away from you. Good work. Holding it here. Pelvic floor stays engaged. Good job. For 5, 4, I'm sliding down my mat. 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Grabbing our resistance band, placing it around our thighs. It is warm in the sunshine. We are now going to have our ankles in line with our tushy, our knees bent at 90. Elbow under shoulder. So what this means is that my legs are going to be in front of me now. Elbow beneath shoulder, rotate that arm out. Now what we're going to do is as we come up, we're going to lift and open that leg. As we come down, we bring it down. As we come up, we lift and open, push away from the floor. As we come down, never sag down into this bottom shoulder. Stay actively pressed away from the ground. 3, good. 4, push the hips a little bit forward as you do this. Good, pelvic floor remains engaged. 5. Again, keep the shoulders stacked. 6, 7. And you may notice I'm not actually resting my hip on the ground here. I'm just floating above. 8, 9. Really keep this bottom oblique engaged. 10. Lift and hold. Reach to the sky. Straighten out that leg. See if you can reach overhead. Keep these ribs tucked, belly button drawn in. So I'm not here, I am here. Good. Lift that leg up for 5, 4. Press the hips forward and 1. Good job. Hoo-yah. Other side. Elbow under shoulder. Ankles in line with the hips. Knees bent at 90. Rotate that arm out. Coming up, push the hips forward, lift, and down. 2, keep drawing that belly button into the spine. These bottom ribs, keep them tucked in, so don't be here flaring the ribs. Keep those ribs tucked inwards. Good. Pelvic floor stays strongly engaged. Pull everything up and in. 5. My in-person classes, when we talk about pelvic floor engagement, I'll often use an analogy that makes everyone giggle, but I'll say, imagine you've got a ping pong ball up in your lady parts, and you're trying to generate like a vacuum suction by pulling everything up and in. That's what I want you to imagine. Good. Lift and hold. Straighten out. Reach overhead. Tuck the ribs. Tuck the belly button. Pelvic floor is strong for 5, 4, 3. Stay lifted in the shoulder. And 1. Whew, it is hot. Good stuff. So from here, we'll do one last little bit here for our obliques. We're going to do a side hollow body. So our hollow body position, it's actually going to be a rolling, so a bit of a dynamic movement. If you're a gymnast or an aerialist, or maybe even with yoga, you may be familiar with your hollow body. But essentially, when I think of the hollow body, I think of making like a banana shape with my body. So easiest is going to be the closer you bring your legs to your center of mass, the easier it's going to be. We're going to want to start here and then think, let's rotate this guy. So rotating your block so it's lengthwise will give you a little bit more instability. If that's too much of a challenge, just make it easier for yourself. So we're going to start here. Draw that belly button down, tuck those ribs, squeeze that pelvic floor up and in. We're going to lower our hands and feet away from each other, just to the point that you feel your back want to start to lift off the mat and your ribs want to start to flare upwards. From here, we're going to try to roll all at once into that butt dimple. So my belly button is pointing up at 45 degrees, so to where the wall and ceiling are connecting in front of you. With this bottom side, don't let the ribs sag into the floor. I think you're lifting, creating space here between the lats and the bottom side of the armpit and the ground. Hands are slightly in front, feet are slightly in front. Good. Next, exhale, to roll back all at once and hold. Watch your neck, lengthen the neck, tuck the chin. Try to relax the neck. Rolling to the other side. Again, lift that bottom side off the ground if you can. Pelvic floor is nice and strong. Good. Keep those ribs tucked. Exhale back to center. Keep that spine flat to the ground. If you're getting tired, bring your legs up higher. Exhale. Rolling back. I'm on a little bit of a hill, so I'm like falling backwards. Good. Lift the legs high. Lift that bottom side of the rib cage off the ground. Keep that pelvic floor strong. And back. And back. Other side. Lift the bottom side of the ribs off the floor. Pelvic floor stays strong. Keep those ribs tucked. Good. One last round. Back to center. And back. Lift those bottom ribs off the floor. And back to center. And back to the other side. Good, and back to center. Holding it here for 5, 4, 3, flatten the spine to the floor and down. Oh yeah, amazing. So good. So, April Fools, ha ha ha. One last exercise, bonus round. I promise after this we'll actually stop. We're gonna put our band around our ankles, elbow beneath the shoulder. Be in that booty dimple. Top elbow points straight to the sky. I've got my band around my ankles, and I'm just gonna do like a little scissor leg, forward and back. Trying to keep tension in that band. Avoid sagging into your shoulder here. Push away from the ground. I think you want as much space between that bottom side of the ribs and the floor as possible. Good. From here, stop with the legs together. Take that top leg, lift as much as you can. Squeeze through here, push away through here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Other side. Oh yeah, I'm getting sweaty. It's hot. Elbow under shoulder. Leg slightly in front. Belly button points up to that top corner. Push away from the ground. Top elbow to the sky. Forward and back. Good job. Trying to create like a V shape with your body hinging at the hips. Last one. Bring that top leg there and lift. Push away from the ground. Pelvic floor stay strong for 5, 4. Oh, my legs are shaking. And 1. Oh yeah. Oh, we did quite a bit of side abs yesterday evening in my live class with my lovely ladies here in Port Hardy. So let's do a nice side stretch now. We're going to straighten our body out. Place your elbow under your shoulder. Rotate that hand the whole way up, and then gently come up and lift. Let your hips sink down to the ground and try to keep your hips stacked one above the other. Good. You can stabilize with this front hand here. Going for a nice stretch all through the side body here. Oh, that breeze is delightful. What a beautiful day. Good. Press up a little bit more, press further away, go for a little bit more of a stretch here. Awesome. Other side. Elbow beneath shoulder. Body is fully straight. Rotate that hand the whole way out. Come up and lift. Keep the hips stacked one above the other. The more I push away through this hand on the floor, the more you can get a side stretch all through the muscles we just worked. You can probably hear me huffing and puffing away. I'm up on top of a small mountain, large hill, let's say, and I feel like the air's a bit thinner up here. I'm like, ah, breathless. Breathless Danny. Won't stop this chatterbox. Good, and release. From here, grab your yoga blocks. Oh, that ocean looks so pretty. I can't wait to get down there. We're gonna bring one foot forward, one foot back. So with this back foot, don't sickle those toes in, straighten them out, flatten out that foot. Take your pelvis, curl it a little bit forward, then come down and stretch. This hand, so the hand that corresponds with the back leg, reach it straight up to the sky. And as you reach, try to move this block back just to add a little bit of a back bend and feel how that stretch should be getting into that lower abdomen. Good. And just be gentle with your body, be patient. Don't force anything. We don't like that. Good. If this feels okay, this top arm, now we're going to reach a little bit to the side. Very, very small movement, doesn't need to be big. Keep drawing that pelvic floor up and in. Keep drawing that belly button to the spine. Good. Take this hand, grab the outside of the leg, Gentle twist, look behind. Again, keep your pelvis kind of curled and tucked forward, getting a nice stretch all through the hips and through here. Awesome. Other side. Walking it forward, flatten out and straighten out that foot. Curl your pelvis forward. Then come down. Good. Reach up with that hand that corresponds with the back leg. Front leg, armed side. Can't speak. Anyway, this side. Move it back. Good. Gentle back bend. Pull that pelvic floor up and in ever so slightly. If that feels okay, gentle bend to the side here. And release. Perfect. Last but not least, go for a nice little side stretch here so we can sit with one leg in front. Here you can drop an elbow onto your thigh if you like, or straight to the ground if you're a little bit more flexible, whatever feels good for you. Big reach, so think you're reaching for the wall in front of you. Good. Oh yeah. Feel free to close your eyes here. Moment of gratitude for your body, all the beautiful things you get to do every day of your life that we often just take for granted and forget how lucky we are. Release. Other side. I'm going to turn my back to y'all so I can take a moment here to take in this beautiful space. Oh yeah, big reach to the wall in front. Try to drop this hip back away from you. Slow, deep breaths. And just cultivating a moment of awareness and consciousness in your day. Kudos to you for taking a little bit of time out of your busy schedule to just slow down, work on your health, and take in this wonderful space. As always, thank you guys so much for joining. Really thankful to have you. Gala Kesla, which is Kwakwala for thank you. And I hope to see you again very soon.